Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. I'm here with the lovely Miss Pachi McLeod. She came a long way to meet you guys. She's represented in a few countries, so if you see a couple of flags flying in the background, you just have to chalk it up to her wonderful travels.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Asia.
Hi. She's really a great person to get to know. If you are already in her circuit, you know that. She's very lively. She's multi-passionate, and she uses those passions well. So it always brings joy to my heart when I see people do it through excellence. I actually came across Pachi a long time ago. In the midst of me coming across her, I was just noticing how she can mix so many different layers, spirituality with business, with professionalism.
Well, hello, everyone. Again, I am super excited to be here. I'm super excited for you to get access to all this amazing content. And like Aisha said, my name is Pachi McLeod. I'm originally from the Dominican Republic, and my passion is helping you live out your passion. So I am all about helping coaches hit that first 5K, 10K month. And for me, the 5K and 10K month are beyond money. They're also, whenever normally you're hitting that first 5K, it means that we're creating a system and we have gotten to a place where we know that things are working. And then 10K is about scaling it up, right? So I am a course creator. I am a content queen. I love creating content. I love sharing content, like Aisha was saying. And I'm super excited to be here and to answer these questions.
So tell us why you felt like this was important for you to do.
So throughout my career, I've always been, before I know about coaching, I feel like coaching was like God put my dream in a pocket and said like, here, you can say it this way. I remember I love talking on the phone. That was like one big deal. I remember as a teenager talking on the phone and all of that stuff. My background is teaching and counseling. Right. So throughout my entire career, I was always really impact driven. And then when Julian was born, my son, I started figuring out that this career that I was obsessed with and that I love was now in conflict with a personal desire to be at home and to be there for my family and stuff. So I started having to figure out, I remember my husband and I sitting down, like, what are we gonna do to bring in more money without having to have Julian all day at the daycare? And from there, I remember we were talking to a financial counselor and my husband was going to look for a second job. And one of the ideas that came to me, and I was like, why don't we do something we're so passionate about and like that is our calling to make money so that we can do it together, spend more money, you know what I mean? Like make more money and all of that stuff. So that's how coaching came around. I didn't start as a business coach. I was actually a purpose coach. And I attracted so many people that were business entrepreneurs or like that were entrepreneurs. And one of the things that happened, the more they tap into their calling and their unique purpose, the more their business grew.
Okay.
And from there, they started asking me about what I was doing and how I was doing it online and stuff. So it was a really organic, evolution of the business. And then I moved into business coaching, but I started more as like helping coaches get their first 5 clients and stuff, because I was like, let me make sure I can help people get results. Then from there, like it evolved to what it is right now.
That's a great story, and I'm so glad that you said that, because I've noticed a theme with the ladies that have been presenting here. They're using where they are as a stepping stone. So they're using motherhood, they're using the past experiences to build a future that they want.
Yeah.
In my mind, that's building a vision board life. They're not necessarily trying to walk away from it. They're just engrafting it and finding ways to pull it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And to me, Aisha, that's what's going to bring you the success. You know me, and you know that I'm really big and everything about like pulling in and focusing on your impact and the service that you're here to provide to the world. And normally that means leveraging your past, like leveraging what you've learned, leveraging your previous career, and like literally creating some kind of a bomb, you know what I mean? Like with so much fire and energy and stuff, and you're bringing that online. Normally when you do that, you stand out people are really drawn to you and they feel they connect with you, but you're feeling fulfilled, and all of that, it's like bringing in the money, right? Because you're using you're leveraging who you are for the sake of helping more people.
Yeah, I love that. It's I hear people say purpose-driven, but that's a passion-driven life. And it's passion-driven business. If you know where you are, and I think you do a good job of helping people center and do that. And I appreciate the inspirations that you've offered me for sure. So those are the real like big parts about you that everybody probably is like searching for and interested in right off the top of their head. What are the little known facts about you that you like to do in your downtime? Do you have a favorite singer? Do you have a favorite social media platform?
Yeah.
What is get going?
All right. So I love Beyonce. Yeah. So there's this thing about me. I am really deep, but I can switch into fun and silly like on a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So there's like that duality or whatever contrast. So whenever I'm not doing business related things, I love traveling, but since we have a 4-year-old, for me, it's not so much right now about jet setting. But yeah, you know, like having Julian at a 5-star hotel, like that would be too much stress. Once you go to break, we were actually, I will tell you this. So we were actually at a hotel 2 days ago, and it was a really nice looking hotel, but it was like one of the cool things that I like is that they were more trendy. So there were not like all these bases, you know what I mean? And like stuff that Julian could break. So all about traveling, love Beyonce. Right now I'm really into this series called The Crown. Have you ever heard of it?
I have. I've watched it.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
And I love the English and the British, how they are. There's so many. Okay, I'm going to tell you this because I know this is a total sidebar. So guys, we're vibing out here. I love how they can say one thing and it means so many more layers. Is there anything about Beyonce that just really drives you?
I think with Beyonce, she's such a go-getter like I am. She likes entertaining like I do. And just like her empowerment. I like how she uses deep and real issues to drive something deeper. So I've always been really excited about her. I like other people. I like Meghan Trainor. I like, have you heard Havana?
Yeah, I did. I saw that the other day.
Woohoo! I feel like that describes me. That video, like, yeah, that video. Any Latina that comes across that video would be like, yeah, the grandma, the family, like that kind of thing. So that's me.
I love that. I love that you can feel that, because I think what a lot of times women don't get to appreciate, because you get lost in the music or whatever, it's the whole message of it and the work ethic of it, because Beyonce works very hard. I know this is getting really deep, you guys, but Beyonce works really hard. And the good thing you can take up from that and having role models and looking for people like that is if you're taking those characteristics, usually you embody that. So you guys, look at what you are attracted to, because you can see from yourself whatever you find inspiring in that. That's probably what you're supposed to share with the world.
Exactly.
So those are great. That was pretty deep.
Yeah.
When you think about your journey to having vision board life success, what do you think are the keys to get you there? What do you think has been the underlying thread to get you there? There are feminine ways to hustle. I know you talk about hustle a lot. And there's also ways to be in your best flow state. What do you think has been the best part of your journey getting there?
You know, I was just talking with someone, and one of the things that I feel that what allowed me to move from hustling to the aligned hustle, what I like to call it, is, and I love how you're talking about the feminine way of hustle, because I think hustle is fun, you know what I mean? Like, especially for us ambitious go-getters or whatever, like that's what we're into. When we get into the flow, we just go for it. To me, that's what hustle is about. The part of the thing that really helped me to begin to move more into the vision board life that I desired was like I stopped treating other people's courses and programs like if they were the Bible. So like, you know, online, there's everybody's telling you their information, giving you what they think and all of that. And if you're not careful, you start to dismiss your intuition and your like internal guidance because you see that this other person has had the success they have or whatever, and you get out of alignment. Right. So for me, a big deal has been getting into alignment. What am I here to do? Who am I here to serve? Why am I here to serve them? How do I want to do that and all of that? So really getting focused on that. And then the other thing that really made a big difference is actually leading with service. Okay. One of the things that I feel that online, and especially like around mindset and that kind of thing that has been happening in our industry, is that there's a lot of people just leading mainly with money, right? Like, so the affirmations are like, see myself with 10K, I see myself with this, and I see myself with that. And like, whenever, this is what I see. It's not that those things are not important, because they are. Those are part of the outcomes you want. Yeah. But to be able to reach your goal and to create the life that you want, you need some kind of fuel or passion that's pushing you forward to those goals. Yeah. So whenever we focus on service, this is what I see, and you've heard me talk about this, Aisha. So like, if you're focused on yourself, all your limiting beliefs, all your crap, all your insecurities are going to come up and keep you from moving. If you focus on what you're here to do and on service, normally you increase your confidence, and your conviction and your drive becomes so strong that those limiting beliefs become like non-existent or non-relevant. I don't care that I have problems receiving money. I'm going to serve 10 people, and 10 people with $1,000 is that it's 10. Do you see what I'm saying? It's 10K. Like, that's what I had to do. I had to stop focusing so much on me and focus on how many people do I want to serve? How am I going to help them through this program? And when I started getting so focused on who I was here to serve, it made me step into that higher version of myself, because that higher version of myself doesn't have whatever limiting beliefs I could be dealing with right now. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to build on that. Mm-hmm. And what I gathered from what you're saying is, if you are service driven, mm-hmm. everything else follows. Yeah. And there is no space for distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no space for fear. There's no space for any disruption, mm-hmm. because you know your one target goal. And a lot of times I know that I've experienced it being either fear-based, being distracted-based, or being in comparison.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're not focused on that one way, it's the same thing when you're driving, right? They tell you when you first start driving, they say, look at what's in front of you, because if you look at the side road, your car is going to be in a ditch.
Yeah. And to me, it's too, I love the way you're saying it. It's part of it is we know that we have a calling. We know we're here on purpose. We have people we want to serve. And most likely when you become a coach, or when you come into this kind of service world, you have in one way or another been doing it already, right? Like we were talking about leveraging it. So you're confident on your ability to serve and your ability to change life and stuff like that. The part that you're getting comfortable with is receiving money, or right, or like be having that level of visibility. Like that's the part of us. So fear is going to come at any level. Like I have seen it every single time. Every time I'm looking to up level, fear comes in. Every time I create a new offer, doubt comes in. So it doesn't matter how much money you're making, that chatter is always going to show up. If I am focused on service, however, then I am streamlining what I'm focusing on. And like I said, like I don't care that I'm feeling afraid. I have to serve 10 people at the end of the month. You know what I mean? Like that. And we're normally, since we're more comfortable serving, it's like choose the path of least resistance. That's what I have done. Once I started driving with service and what I was passionate about and changing lives or whatever, I became more comfortable with receiving the money. Yeah. Because to serve, I needed to make them, like I needed to allow people into the program. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love it. And the reason why I love that in particular is because the angle that you're coming at, I've heard it so many times before, and I've actually heard you say this on some levels. Is if you're service based and you're gonna do the things that it takes to make your business run.
Yeah.
Which is a given. And everybody understands that, you know, in your mind, but intuitively, if you're service-based, you're service-based.
Yeah.
Being service-based means that you're moving in the motion of your service.
Yeah.
And also, there are so many levels of built-in bonuses.
Yeah.
Those bonuses include you being competent. Those bonuses include you being aware. Those bonuses include you know your market on some level.
Exactly.
You know, I'm talking to busy go-getters right now that are similar to me and also similar to you.
Yeah, yeah.
But the biggest thing of not just knowing those things that are already supporting you is you have built-in confidence.
Exactly. Exactly.
You have competency confidence.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just dawning on me just having this conversation. That's what is a big missing piece with the ladies. They're not aware that you're just confident in what you're doing. You have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love the way that you brought that around.
Yeah, and the last piece, since you guys are busy women, right, that are looking to get more into that group, the one thing, and this is for us go-getters, this is a little bit counterintuitive. We don't realize it. You don't realize that what's keeping you from getting more results is not having more fun. So that's the big piece for me, and that's the big piece that have gotten more results for me, and it's kind of like my signature thing in business. So for you to be able to show up with power, just like we're talking, you need to have that service-based and drive. But then the other piece, personally, is you need to, what sells is your energy, it's your power, it's your confidence, your conviction. And the way you tap into that is by enjoying your life. Like, so what happens a lot of the time is that we think working 24/7 is what's going to give results. But that is so burned out, that is so exhausted, that is in fear or whatever, is not attractive. But whenever you tap into how can I have fun? Sometimes it just means taking a break and playing a Beyonce song for me, right? I'm breaking it down with Beyonce for a little. Or spending time, like I hear from a lot of women who are moms, the constant guilt of I'm not spending enough time with my kids because I'm spending all the time with my business. Like one of the first homework is stop it, go and do something with your kid. Because what's going to happen is while you're doing something with your kid and you're having fun, your subconscious automatically will start working on your favor. Your confidence is going to increase. Your emotional tank is going to be filled up. You're going to get inspiration and motivation again. And whatever you were doing, you're going to be able to do it in maybe half of the time because you allowed yourself to.
Has been the biggest block for energy and time for you as far as creating your vision board life?
It's listening to too many other people that I wasn't in alignment with. I don't know why. I used to have, I think that maybe that's part of the self-worth piece. But whenever I first started, you don't know what you're doing. You're you know what I mean, trying to figure things out or whatever. You're listening to a lot of people. And I think that sometimes we naturally tend to go for someone a little opposite to who we are, like someone that won't do things the way we do it. At least that's what happened to me. Yeah. I was looking like, who's going to beat me into submission? Who's going to guide me to do the thing? You know what I mean? Like who's going to show me? Because I thought that it needed to be hard. So who's going to make, you know what I mean? And like I wanted to do courses. They said that you needed to sell one-on-one high-level offers. I wanted to do this, and I felt guided, and intuitively I wanted to do certain things that I knew I was good at, but I kept putting their rules on me. Mm-hmm. And that drained me like crazy. It got me out of alignment and doubtful and insecure. Like, oh, you think about like any kind of negative connotation to that, I could relate. And it wasn't until I started realizing, one, the more fun I had, the more money I made. I'm not exaggerating. It's totally in my life. It's totally connected. And I've seen it with each one of my clients. Whenever you're having fun, it's again, like you tap, fun somehow allows you to tap into the powerful and spiritual side of you. Mm-hmm. And fun, there's no way to have fun and to be having fun and to be holding back with limiting beliefs. they cannot like cohabitate. So it literally like the more fun, the more money. I've seen it every time. And so it was like allowing, getting into the fun, and getting really focused. That's one of the things I like a lot of other passion driven and multi-passionate. I have like 20 things I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who do I want to serve and how many, like I have all those questions. But for me, it was getting really driven. Where do I want to make the most impact right now? Who am I feeling called to serve? Who am I not feeling called to serve anymore? So those boundaries, life-changing.
That's awesome. So you got very familiar and you got very comfortable with your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you just rebuilt your own expectations because you hit on a lot of key points through there. I can't tease out everything. You guys follow her if you're not already doing so, because she touched on a lot of important things there. But one of them is following someone else's rule book. Mm-hmm. And also another one that I heard you say was
throw it out the door.
Yeah.
Get it.
Another one that was really important that you said was it was some kind of expectation that it has to be hard and you have to be beat into it. And that can be from a lot of levels that people feel like you have to struggle to be successful. And it was the total opposite. The more you had fun, the more you were able to just up level.
Yes.
So there's so many important things. Go back and rewind that part.
Yeah, it goes back to that piece, and this is the part that I want you to take away. It goes back to the piece of if the reason why we think it should be hard, it's because it's connected to our self-worth. Because we're like, who am I to make all this money? Who am I to have this much success fast? Like, right? Like there's all that crap that plays whenever we're focused on ourselves. Right. Whenever you're having fun and serving, you don't tap into all that crap. It's like you override it. Right. And so that allows you to tap. There's like that nerve. So to me, there's 3 cells that we have. There's the low level, where it's all the insecurities, all the crap. There's the regular. That's where we normally like live on regular basis. So it has limiting beliefs, insecurities, or whatever. And then there's the highest level. To tap into that highest level, that happens when you feel that you're in flow. Yeah. Like when you get into the groove, when you're excited, when you're like, I can take on the planet, I can beat anything. You're in your highest self. So when you work from there, and you normally tap into her whenever you're having fun or whenever you're having some kind of spiritual like breakthrough or something like that. So what I started doing was I started living more my life from her place. Does that make sense? So instead of thinking, I'm going to spend more time with Julian whenever I make 5K, I started spending more time with Julian daily. And then in half of the time, I would work on my business and hit the 5K.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I mean, that is, in my mind, what having a vision board life is for. You're working to live. You're not living to work. And the coolest thing about that, I think, is because we're women and because we are able to juggle so many things at a time, we think that that's where we're always supposed to be. That may not be our highest self. And if our highest self is way more energetic and way more fun, that's when you're channeling the ability to do all the other things you want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that that's really critical to try to come from that level down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So building on that, and I don't know, you may have already mentioned it now, what do you see as the biggest mistake that people are making that helps them like stay in a procrastinating mode and they can't beat the procrastination and therefore they can't build their dreams? What do you think is holding people back?
Drowning themselves and drowning their intuition on everybody else's stuff. Like, even if I am saying something that is not in alignment with how you think or how you feel, discard it. Like, that to me is the biggest mistake. It's the wanting to listen and wanting to see what everybody else is doing. Because that drives you into comparison, that drives you into all these different problems. And from there, you're not able to take action. That's one thing. And then to me, so all of that builds into the fact that I feel the way that many people teach mindset, it's wrong. The way to get results is action. And the way to be free to take action is through your mindset.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So doing that, to me, that's where I see the biggest mistake. It's around the not having the mindset and the clarity to be able to have a solid strategy and to be able to take aligned action into that solid strategy.
Okay. I think that's a wonderful way to make sure that you're ordering it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to start from just like ground zero and you were going to start all over with visioning,
mm-hmm.
what 3 things do you feel would be important to focus on in creating your own vision board life?
Number 1 for me would be, I would get super crystal clear
mm-hmm.
on what I desire and what I'm feeling called to do.
Right.
That in and of itself is going to give me a lot of power. You know what I mean? Because that's where your why and all of that comes from. So that's going to give me a clear direction. The second thing that I would do is that I would create a solid strategy. Mm-hmm. Instead of doing a bunch of stuff, instead of burning myself out, right? Like the 2 sides of the candle, like you guys love to say in the US. But I would have a solid strategy. I would stop flying by the seat of my pants. I would stop feeling overwhelmed and just spinning my wheels. And I would follow that strategy for 90 days. That's what I talk about, and you hear me talk about it all the time, is we go at it with a clear strategy the whole time. That's what I call a client conversion strategy. So we know how to attract, how to engage, and how to convert people, and that's all you focus on. And then the last but not least is you consistently take aligned action. So what are the actions you need to take? One of the things that I work with my clients and that has helped me a lot is actually having a specific days for specific things. For example, I coach on Thursdays. I have my team meeting on Mondays. You know what I mean? I create copy on Tuesdays. Like, I know what's happening. So there's a certain flow. And anything that doesn't fit into that and anything that's not connected to the goal, is just pushed aside.
I like that. And I like how you aren't afraid to own it.
Yeah.
You're afraid to own your vision. And it is basically just like you had a vision and you just poured it onto the page.
Exactly.
Poured it onto your calendar, and you weren't apologetic about that.
No.
And it's not necessarily that you had to be in someone else's face. You just had to say that this is where I'm going to be bold and this is where I stand, and everything else followed.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, is there anything else that is really sticking out to you right now that you think everyone should know? You're
awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. I just love vibing, and I love working with people that are not just creative, which I have known you to be, but are also professional as well as gifted. So this has been such a treat to have you. When people are reaching out and they're looking for you, where should they go to find you, and how can you support people that are ready to have their vision board life right now?
So I would recommend for them to come into the Get Book launch. That's my Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group. In there, we would not only help you daily to stay focused and stuff like that, but to me, a big piece of creating your vision board life and to having success and all of that, as you've heard me, is having fun. And to me, part of that happens whenever you're surrounded with like-minded women. So I would invite you to come into the Get Book launch, into the sisterhood, and ask me any questions and anything that you want from me. I can provide it to you in there.
That is wonderful. I'm glad that you provided a safe space for women to come and join together and learn together. Mm-hmm. And you are such a welcoming person. I do know this personally, you guys. You will not miss out if you get connected with Pachi. So hold on to her tight, because she's going to take you somewhere.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview, and I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Asia. Thank you for doing this. This is such a needed work, and I'm excited to see where this takes everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.